Hello. How are you doing? How's things? I thought I'd jump on live today. It's become like a Saturday regular thing to go live, Saturday or Sunday, because I'm really enjoying it. And God, my live stream just came through my phone. Yeah, so I'm gonna probably start doing it. I think Saturday and Sundays are seeming like a good day to go live. I don't know why. I'm normally down here playing music. I don't get Alfie until 11 on Saturday and Sunday, so I have a bit more time. And yeah, I'm normally down here messing around anyway, and it seems like a good time to go live. So I had some guy. Can you hear that? I had some guys fixing the gate in our house last week, and they turned everything off: the internet, the power, and all my equipment stopped working. So this is the first. This is the first stream back since all that happened. So I'm hoping anyone is even seeing this. Oh, there's comments. That's good. I'm going to pop over there and read the comments in a minute. But yeah, I thought I'd give you a little bit of some morning meditation vibes. Feels meditative today. I don't know. I've had a lot of. It's been a crazy week. This week I've been sort of all over town. My mum and dad are here, which is great. But yeah, it's been sort of a lot going on, so it's nice to just have a little bit of a chill. And Alfie had his first school show. Did you see that? That was amazing. Go and check out my video. I put his school play. I posted a little bit of his school play on yesterday's video. But so that was really fun. He was so brilliant in it. Like all the other kids had a certain thing they had to do, and of course Alfie being Alfie is just like doing his usual Mick Jagger dance, and it was really funny. And the teacher had to grab him. He's a one-off. Well, you know him. He's a one-off, but I love that about him. He's such a unique little boy. And they're doing the jingle bells, and he's like looking into the bell. He's still doing it, but also looking in to make sure how it goes together. But it was really good fun. And then I've been over the other side of town for the last 2 straight days. So I find myself over that side of town a lot. So basically, we live so there's a hill. I say we because I live, me and Laura live like a mile apart. So it's all in the same area, but so you've got the beach, and then there's a big hill, and we're over that hill. And I'm spending so much time on this side of the hill that I'm feeling like next year I might be like time to just look for. I don't know. It's too early. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm saying. But all I'm saying is I seem to be spending a lot of time over that side, and the last time this may be weird if you don't know LA, but so last time we made a big move from one part of LA to another, and right before it happened, I found myself just in this area all the time for things. I'd just be in this weird area that I'd never been to before called Encino, and we lived on right the other side of town, and I just kept coming to Encino for different things. I'd keep ending up here, and then 6 months later we moved here, not because of me, because a house came up that we liked to rent. We rented a house, and it happened to be in Encino, but I was there so much. I was like, this is weird. And then the same thing is happening with the west side of town for me now. So I don't know if does that mean a move is coming? I don't know. Like, why do I keep ending up there? So yeah, it's we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm going to read some comments. I'm going to move this over here. Hello. Let's read some of your comments. Is it difficult to get? Hey, Deborah. Is it difficult to get around LA? It is without a car. You can't do it without a car. The Beaver Family. What music did you do on Pirates of the Caribbean? A ton of music on different scenes. It tended to be what I tended to do on these big Hollywood films was action scenes or like love scenes. No in between. I always ended up doing those two. Mainly action though. On the Pirates of the Caribbean, it would be the big moments where they're chasing people. That would anything like that was I would have done the music for it. But so Hans Zimmer was the main composer, but he uses so many. Oh my God, Pirates of the Caribbean was a trip. So when I came from London, I was used to working on James Bond films. I did like 3 James Bond films in London, and they were the biggest films that were made in London. So on a James Bond film, there were 3 of us: me, David, and Nick. 3 guys that we did all of it. So I thought, when I come to LA and work on, films here, there's going to be 3 or 4 people, maybe 5. 25 people working on Pirates of the Caribbean. And I was a bit overwhelmed. Like, I couldn't get my head around how many people were working on it. But Hans does that. He puts a lot of people together on a project. So that's what it was with Pirates. So I ended up doing all the action scenes. That I give those to Stephen. But it was this piano is all over Pirates of the Caribbean, by the way. Made a lot of action scenes. So what you do is, in a piano, if there's strings, if you put your hand on the strings, it can make this real drum sound. And a lot of the action scenes on Pirates were made from it's called prepared piano. Putting your hands in the piano. Check this out. Things like that for beats, and then stuff like this for when things happen. Sounds like Pirates, doesn't it? So you put your hand in the piano. There's a lot of the action stuff was made like that on this piano. So, okay, that answers that question. Did you meet Johnny Depp? I didn't meet Johnny Depp. I did meet Penelope Cruz a few times, but not Johnny Depp. She was in it as well. I love watching Alfie's concert. So sweet seeing you and your parents, and Laura loving it so much too. Ah, tears in your dad's eyes. Ah, yeah. Was he crying? I don't know. I'll have to ask him. Yeah, maybe. I was too busy concentrating on making sure Alfie didn't run off the stage. That was funny. The rehab talk, Carly. Yeah, that went well. Thanks. It was weird because it was outside and it was absolutely freezing. And everyone had blankets on. There were quite a lot of people there, and they're all covered in blankets. And I didn't have a blanket. I just had this on. It's freezing. And I said to the guy, "It's a bit cold. Can we go inside?" And he's like, "No, we've got to do it outside." So that was weird. But apart from that, it went well. I'm not sure if you mentioned, but is your piano old? Yeah, this is from the 1800s. It's been with me for 10, 11 years. The death of Twitch really hit home for me. Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it? I made a video about my reaction to it. It's nuts. It's nuts, and then again, it isn't nuts because I know what it's like to be at that point. But it is nuts when it happens. When someone goes and does it, it's crazy. Watching yours and Laura's response to the show reminded me so much of when my daughter was little. It was so much fun. It was just, he was brilliant. He did so well. I'm sober 10 years now, says Desiree. Wow, that's congratulations. I'm gonna pop back over here. I always keep a blanket in a car. I call it my movie blanket. Yeah, I should have had a blanket. Like, I wish he told me. Like, my friend got me to do it, and he didn't say, by the way, it's in ice cold temperatures, and like, why don't you make sure you have some? Actually, no. You know what? That's a lie. He did tell me. I just didn't read it. So there's that. But it was good. There were a lot of kids. A lot of young kids. Teenagers, early 20s, a lot of people that recognize me from TikTok, which was weird. It's always nice. People are always lovely. They were lovely, and they were all talking about Alfie and Poppy. I was like there to give a talk about addiction, and everyone's like, "Your kids are so cute." TikTok. If you follow me on TikTok, if you don't follow me on TikTok, I do different things there to what I do here. So I do just off the cuff live piano stuff basically on TikTok a lot of the time. So there's a lot of stuff from the piano at the other house. A lot of for some reason I do a lot. All my TikTok videos are on the other piano. I don't know why that is. It's very strange. I tend to like gravitate to certain instruments for certain things. So if you don't follow me on TikTok, do, because there's a lot more music from. So always Alfie and Poppy make an appearance. So I'll be playing, and Alfie will like chip in on those videos. So that's funny. But those are the lights Alfie helped put up. Yeah, these. Yeah, he loves these, obviously. But so I like them just because they light up the piano. But he wants them to flash. So every time he comes here, and I don't even know how to make them flash. He makes them flash. And then I have to like unplug it all and plug it back in again. Mary says you should buy a blanket with weights. Yeah, that's true. Weighted blankets are really good for people on the spectrum. I bet a lot of kids on the spectrum love weighted blankets. We're very lucky with Alfie with his sensory stuff. He only has one big sensory issue. And I know that it can go two ways with kids on the spectrum. A lot of them have a lot of sensory issues. Like, I didn't know if he was going to have to end up wearing glasses and headphones to go out in public. Like some kids, that's too much. And like to go to a store, they have to wear sunglasses and headphones. And I didn't know if he was going to be like that. He's the opposite. That boy, he loves chaos. He loves lights and chaos. He wants to run and go and see stuff that makes me go mental. He loves sensory input. So it turns out he's a sensory seeker. There's two different types: sensory avoidant, which is the glasses and the headphones, and the sensory seeker, which is what he is. So he's very much into going to find sensory input. So that's it. Which is lucky because it's easy. I feel like it's easier to deal with. I mean, he doesn't have meltdowns for sensory things, and he doesn't have meltdowns with this, but he's got a thing. If he spills one tiny drop of water, like on any part of him, like on his jumper or his trousers, the whole outfit and underwear has to come off. Everything. It's really funny, and so we have to go through this whole thing where he'll go, so he'll spill something. Shirt off, daddy. Pants off, daddy. Pants off, daddy. Socks off, daddy. Shoes off, daddy. So I have to take everything off. And he refuses. He won't put it back on unless it's been in the tumble dryer. So I have to put it in the tumble dryer. But now I've worked out it only has to go in there for like 30 seconds. So that's enough. So, is he sound sensitive at all? Says the Beaver family. My almost 4-year-old is sound sensitive. Alfie, I think, is like me in that he's very attuned to sound. He went through a phase where we have a juicer that would make him really. He hated to hear the juicer. He's fine with that now. So he did go through a stage of that, and now he's just really into sound. He likes to hear sound. He likes to know where it's coming from. He likes to investigate. Like he loves the pianos, both pianos. This piano he likes because he can see all the mechanisms inside. I remember when you shared how the doctor said Alfie could never progress. Yay, Alfie made a liar out of them, says Anna. Yeah, I mean, they didn't say he couldn't, but they said it was, they made it sound like it was unlikely. It was terrifying. It was horrible. It was a horrible time, and I wish that doctors wouldn't just. Why do they always give you worst case scenario? Like I would have saved. So all the stuff I think about when I think about all the stuff I was worried about, that doctor put in my head that I didn't have to be. All the time I wasted worrying about, is he ever going to talk? Is he ever going to be independent? I didn't have to worry about any of that. So it's such a waste of time. And it definitely took a toll on the family, just because I freaked out a little bit. A lot. Because I just wanted him to, have the best life possible. And she just accentuated all that. She was a terrible doctor. She was terrible. Like, look, when I look back on it, I don't know how she is a kid psych evaluation person with that kind of way of talking. Ugh, no, never again. So it's yeah, I still don't understand why they only tell you the worst case scenario. But it is what it is, and at the end of the day, Alfie's doing tremendously, and you know he's really, he has proved them wrong in a way. Not in a way, he just has. So. Someone just said, "Are you actually going to play the piano?" And I realised that I haven't played the piano, and I said it was a piano chat. So yeah, I'm gonna. Some days I'm really into playing, and some days I just like to have a chat with you guys. Today I'm feeling like sometimes if you're not my YouTube channel, Stephen Hilton Calm. Sometimes I'll be down here at night, and if I'm playing something, which happens a lot at night, I just jump on YouTube Live on Stephen Hilton Calm, and it's small, so there's like 20, 30 people in there at like 12 o'clock, and I don't give any warning. I literally just jump on live. So if you're into live music, go and have a look at that. Going to put this up. A little bit of echo. I like echo on the piano. What I love about doing this is that I'm gonna 20 minutes in, that's going to become, I like that. That's going to become a piece that goes on my Patreon and eventually comes on YouTube. So I've just, like, from improvising, I love when things happen like that. I really like that. And I just came up with that then. So what I'll do is I'll go back and look at this when I finish at 20 minutes and I'll record that. And it'll become a piece. That hasn't happened that much on live streams for some reason. Normally when I'm just playing and rehearsing, not rehearsing, just playing, I'll come up with stuff. But sometimes I think on the live stream, because I'm just sort of getting into it, I was so worried about the technical side. I wasn't just letting myself go and play, but now I know it's all working. It's nice to come up with stuff. Are you also a singer? I'm the world's worst terrible singer. I'm the world's worst coming up with lyrics person. But in the new year, I've got some exciting stuff happening. I've got a big thing happening January 12th, which is a thing about the channel and videos. But also, alongside that, later on in the month, I'm going back to producing. I really wanted to produce artists again. I've been itching to do it for years. And I found three artists that I'm going to be producing next year. And hopefully this stuff will be coming out on my, I've got a label for putting all my music out, and I want to start helping artists and signing new artists. So I'm going to reach out next year. I've got an incredible band and 2 solo artists. So next year you're going to see me making a record with 3 different people. That's not the big announcement. That's something else. But so yeah, I can't sing and I can't write lyrics, and that's why I have to work with talented people who can. Just subscribe to a YouTube channel. Thank you. I really appreciate it. You guys sign into the subscribing to my YouTube channel is a big help to me, and it's free for you to do. So if you haven't subscribed, please go over and subscribe, because it helps me. It helps the videos go out to more people. And next year I'm doing something that I think is going to help a lot of people once I've worked it out. So it really would help me if you go and subscribe. How long does it take of playing a piano before you can start improvising and making your own music? Just wondering, since I've recently started playing and I would love to get to that point one day, says Alexia. I believe you can improvise straight away without... I mean, Alfie improvises already. Like, improvising is just letting your hands just fall and, I'm not a great player, but I do have great ideas. That's one thing I think about with music with me, is that I've always had great ideas, and I'm lucky enough to have... I think I like my piano playing because it's very unusual, but I'm not a great player. Like, I'm lucky enough to know a lot of great guitarists, bassists, drums, orchestra players. So if I need someone like that, I can always call one of my friends in to, help me. But yeah, so the answer to that is you can improvise anytime. Yes, but all improvising doesn't sound like yours. Oh, that's very sweet. I mean, okay, so here's a weird thing. When I was 16, I got a job playing. Now, bearing in mind, 16, I was early. No, it wouldn't have been 16, maybe 15. I think this really helped me. So I got a job in a pizza bar playing piano, and I couldn't play anything. I was just self-taught, so I still can't play any piece, not a single piece. I only know my own stuff. So I had to fill from, I think it was 8 till 11, 3 hours a night, once a week. I had to go and just improvise for 3 hours. And I'd only been playing the piano a little while, really. But that forced me, the fear of that forced me to improve. So I think that the stress of being in front of people also makes you improve as improvising. I play by ear. I can play piano, basic song, but the most complex I can play is Phantom of the Opera, and I've been doing that for almost 20 years. Wow. I imagine that's a hard piece to play. I couldn't play that. Hi, Stephen. Autistic for me, seeing my beautiful nephew growing up 6 years old. He's a sensitive person, smart and love unconditionally to others. I know it's hard for parents. Thank you to put yourself out there for us to learn about autism. We need more teaching. Yeah, I mean, I'm still learning about it. But it's fascinating. The only thing I got in the first 6 months of hearing that word was fear. Really, I mean, and I blame the way that I shouldn't blame. I'm not a victim, but I didn't know anything about it, and all I was hearing was fearful stuff from the doctors. So that's all I had. Have you ever ate at Salt Bay Restaurant? I haven't. What is that? Let me put my mouse over here. I'm still working out this live stream studio, but yeah, that's. I wish I could play the guitar as good as you play the piano. I keep practicing. Yeah, just keep practicing. I do play a lot. That's one thing that I think helps. If I go past the piano, I normally just want to sit and play on it. And I don't know if that's practicing or if that's just wanting to do it. Who knows? Who do you view as your contemporary, says Liz? That's a good question. Okay, so I love... Well, my biggest influence is a guy called Brian Eno, who invented ambient music. And he's still making music. I got a friend called John Hopkins, who's brilliant. Actually, I'm annoyed with him because his last album is really good, and it's so good that it annoys me. I messaged him and I was like, "You bastard! That's a really, really good what you did there." Richard D. James, another one. He's great. Olfar, and I can't pronounce his second name. Olfur, and then there's another word after that. He's great. Niels Fram, who's he's really good. Who else? Oh my God, there was one guy who committed suicide in 2016, who I really liked. I can't remember his name. Oh, let me think. Why can't I remember his name? Empire of Whimsy. What I love about Patreon is I see people on Patreon. I see their names on other platforms. I feel a connection to them. Like Empire of Whimsy is on my Patreon. I speak to her a lot. Hi, how are you doing, Empire of Whimsy? Okay. I feel weird saying Empire of Whimsy. I feel like that's not your actual name. But anyway, as part of testing that I am autistic 2 theory, I watched Learn to Play Bohemian Rhapsody on piano visual tutorial, and now I can play it. Visual learner, didn't know that. Videos are ace, yeah. Some people are visual learners, aren't they? Love Roxy Music. John did an album with King Creosote. Yes, he did indeed, that I loved. Frightened Rabbit, Scott Hutchinson. Yeah, I like those bands. Yeah, so you know John's music. He's great. We always have a really good fun when I haven't seen him for a little while. Last time was a few years ago in LA. But he plays these raves, these big... he does music like I do, but he also plays these big raves. So it's funny to see him sort of DJing. Hello from Ohio, says Butcher. Hello. Please always be here, says Wendy Whimsy. I will be. Autism and high intelligence are often mixed up. Use both to get the best out of yourself. And thank you. I think you're more intelligent, super sensitive, and over impulsed every now and then. Yeah, there's definitely a crossover between what they call extraordinary ability and autism. And some autistic people are also savants, and they have like a special talent in one area. And no one's really made much content about that. I want to make a couple of videos. I made one video about it on TikTok, but I want to look into that a bit more. The stigma is maybe what you feared and how people see or treat you when nothing changed with the diagnosis. Then for the child, the fears would be different learning earlier compared to your late diagnosis. Yeah, and tell you one thing that really was amazing, that really helped me. We were working with a child development specialist called Rainu. She may be watching this, who knows? Rainu, if you are, hello. And she said the most amazing thing. The day he got his diagnosis, we came back and my head was spinning, because the thing that really shocked me was the fact that she said he was the most severe you could get. That's what really was terrifying to me. And I was in bits. I didn't know what to do. So we called her and she said, remember, he's the same boy today as he was yesterday. The diagnosis hasn't changed him at all. And that really helped. I was like, yeah, that's right. Nothing's changed. Like, he's got a diagnosis. Nothing else has changed. He's the same. So that was a big, sorry, that was a big, an important thing to hear. Dorothy, another Patreon subscriber. I love seeing Patreon people in different parts of it. I get a little buzz of excitement. It's funny when I see people from Patreon and other social media platforms. I'm like, oh, look who it is. And the reason is, if you're on tier 2 on Patreon, I have to say your name every single week, because I shout everyone out at the end of the video. So people that have been there since the beginning, I'm saying their name multiple times. So when I see them, I feel like I know them. Can you please do another live? I've missed most of it. Yeah, I think the lives are going to be... I like doing them at the weekend. So I'm going to do 10 a.m. every weekend, maybe Saturday, maybe Sunday, depending on the kids. But I also jump completely randomly on live on Stephen Hilton Calm, which is a different YouTube channel, which is just my music. Do people at your kids' show know you're famous? Do they talk to you, and can you live a sort of normal life? People do, yeah. People at Alfie School, a lot of people there follow us, and it's nice. I'm very lucky. I haven't had many weird encounters with people. Like, people are normally really, really lovely, and like, I do get recognised. I mean, I got recognised a couple of times yesterday when you go to more areas where there's more people, you get recognised more often. And some I got upset yesterday because a guy. I always like to talk to people if they come up. I like to be nice, and I like to engage with people and have a little chat, just a little, And a guy drove past yesterday, and I was crossing the street, and he pulled up. So I'm crossing the street, and he pulled up like this, and his windows were down. And I had a meeting yesterday with someone, and I was walking back, and he was like, Stephen, and I didn't hear what he said. And the person I was with said, he just called your name. And I looked round, and he looked really upset, like I was ignoring him. And he was like sitting. It was an odd moment. He's like sitting in the traffic lights, looking upset with me, but I didn't hear what he said. And I was like, "Oh, hello," and he drove off. I feel like he was upset. But if he sees this, I didn't know what he said. I didn't hear it. But I like to have little chats with people. I get recognised. Sometimes if I get recognised at meetings, I used to find it a little strange to get recognised at meetings, and now I don't, because I feel like people like to have the fact that they know me from social media, and then I'm talking at the meeting. I feel like it's like an added thing for people, and I used to feel a little bit self-conscious because I'd be like, what have they seen? Like, I'm in a meeting talking about recovery, and especially when I was going through that crisis, I'd be like, oh my God, have they seen a video that I made about, having that breakdown, and now are they going to think that recovery doesn't work? And I used to get in my head about all that, and then I would talk and I'd be all over the place because I'd be worried that they, anyway, I got over that because I realized we're all there to get better. And, sometimes struggle is a part of recovery. And it coincided with me talking about that struggle when I talk at AA meetings now. I talk about that part of my life now, because I see that as I lost my emotional sobriety. So my sponsor said, you got to do 90 meetings in 90 days. You're a newcomer because you lost your emotional sobriety. So I talk about that now. Yes, and your anonymity is shot, says. Yeah, I don't mind my anonymity being shot because I'm very open about being an Alcoholics Anonymous. Someone told me once, you can tell people you go to 12-step meetings, anonymous meetings, but you can't tell people I go. And I thought that was really, really good. So I never mention who I see at meetings. I never mention seeing anyone at meetings. And it's really tempting sometimes because you wouldn't believe the people that are sober, that especially in LA, people you would never imagine are sober and have got multiple years. And sometimes I'm like, oh, that'd be so brilliant to but I never do, because that's breaking their anonymity. You have a kind heart, which can be stressful. I like how authentic you are. Thank you, Isabel. That means a lot. What are you up to later, says Dorothy? I'm going to get Alfie. I've got Alfie all day today. I'm going to get him in. I'm excited because I get him at 11. So it's 10:42 now. So getting excited to see him. My mum and dad are here, so they're going to hang out with us today. I feel like I'm an only child, so my mum and dad haven't had kids for 47 years. Say 40 years, and I feel like they've forgotten how crazy it can be. So I think it's been a shock to see how, especially Alfie, he's nuts in the best way possible. He's fearless. He climbs up on things. He's a rough and tumble boy. He's a boy. He's 3, so he's into everything. And it can be, if you're new to it, I think it can be a little overwhelming, but I am so used to it and I love it that I don't think it's crazy. I don't think he's a handful. I love, I don't see him like that, but I feel like if people are new to hanging out with Alfie, it may seem like, he's maybe a handful if you're new to it, but he's so sweet and he's got such a great heart. He's never, he's just always got good intentions, which I love about him. How did the hourly talk go? It went great, apart from that it was freezing cold and everyone was under blankets except me. And I was writing. It was a bit weird the way they set it up. Normally, when you talk at an AA meeting, you have the person that is the secretary of the meeting who they get the speakers and they organize it all. So they'll be sitting there and you sit next to them and there's a desk and and the people are at the other side of the desk. So you're talking, but you've got a desk and you've got another person there. And there's something comforting about that. And this was in the middle of a cold backyard, big yard. There are a lot of people. And it was just a chair with no desk. And the secretary of the meeting was like in the audience. So you're just literally sitting there, freezing cold, in front of maybe 100 people there was something weird about not having a desk. I don't know what it was, but it went really well. Some meetings have podiums where you go and stand up, but there's still some bit of wood there. There's a defense between you and the other people. I don't know what it is. There's something psychological about that. And when you take that away, you feel way more exposed. But you should be exposed when you're doing an AA share. Here you go. This is interesting. Alexia says that sounds like Alfie's the exact opposite of my kiddos. Mine are so afraid of everything that is unfamiliar. They are sensory avoiding. This is what I was talking about. But I suppose that's why it's called a spectrum disorder. That's exactly right. And the interesting thing with Alfie is I didn't know which way he was going to go. because when he was diagnosed, he was just in a regression, and it was awful. But so he was shut down completely. His personality completely just, the light went off. And she told us about his diagnosis, and then I started to research, and they said they have sensory issues, and it can be sensory avoidant or sensory seeking. And there's pros and cons to both. I mean, Alfie, he got his hand caught in the bloody door the other, he's some of the stuff he gets up to is terrifying because he doesn't have any fear, and he's just like a little Tarzan. So, but he is fearless, which is, I think, a good thing. So yeah, Alexis, it's good. It is a spectrum. It's good that you said that, because you can see the different, like, autistic or different. Someone said if you've met one autistic person, you've met one autistic person. Everyone's different. Regression is so scary. It definitely is. Yeah, I don't know what causes that. I don't know. There's some controversial opinions out there as well that you can't talk about on YouTube because they ban your channel. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Mimi. Alfie's light is shining bright. Enjoy the day with your parents. I will. I'm going to sign off. Why do people say sign off? What is all that about? Anyway, I'm going to go and get Alfie. Thank you for hanging out with me today. I love you guys. And yeah, if you want to see sporadic, weird, random lives of me playing music, go and subscribe to my my music only channel, Stephen Hilton Calm. It's just music on there, and hit the bell, and then you'll be notified at all different times of the day and night that I'm live and playing music, which you may like. So let's come back tomorrow and talk about something else. It'll be a video tomorrow. It might be a live tomorrow. I love you guys. Bye.